Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are in. This is the Big Girl Diary. This is entry 79. The other ones, I'm sorry, I was miscounting. I'm going on 80 videos. I'm going to talk a little bit about Zelensky. Now, this war is very interesting. As days and weeks go on, I do a little extra research. I listen here and there, and key things pop into my head, and I go research it. And this is a tough one, because what I really don't want are mindless drones trolling me saying, "Oh, you're a Putin supporter." No, I'm not a Zelensky supporter. No. I'm just looking at the truth for what it is. Now, I remember when what's his name, Ronald Reagan said, "Mr. President President Gorbachev, tear that wall down." And he wasn't saying it to the German Chancellor. He was saying it to President Gorbachev in Russia, because at that time Germany was separated between East Germany and West Germany. West Germany was U.S., European, and East Germany was communist. He let the wall down, but there was an agreement, and that was NATO had to stay away from the Russian borders, and for the Russian and for those countries not to side with NATO, because Russia would not, or the Soviet Union at that time, which broke up, and to Russia to not, because Russia would not invade any of these countries. So I started looking. I said, let me see, was it the North Atlantic Trade Organization? What do they do? The wild part is, NATO shouldn't even exist anymore. It shouldn't, because the Soviet Union is no longer a threat. It collapsed back in the 80s, 90s. All the countries that wanted to break away broke away. So there wasn't an issue. So I decided to look some things up, and I'm just like, whoa, okay, I see what Putin is saying. Now, pull out your maps, because the agreement was between Gorbachev and NATO that that Russia or Soviet Union, as it broke apart and Putin got in, they wouldn't touch any of these countries. Whenever the U.S. has something to do with it, whenever it comes to a treaty, you know they don't honor it. I'm sorry, just check out U.S. history and you'll see what I'm talking about. Let me see. Albania, close. Bulgaria, close. Croatia, close. Estonia, real close. Germany, no. Greece, no. Hungary, Iceland, no. Latvia, right up on the border. Lithuania, right up on the border. Norway and North Macedonia, no. Poland, yes, right there on the door. Romania, yep. Slovenia, Slovakia, Slovenia, yep. Turkey on the south. So I see what Putin's talking about, and now that there is a war going on in Ukraine. Now, as I like looking through foreign newspapers, and I'll put my sources in the description box to take a look at it. But there was a rumor going around saying that Israel told Zelensky to make a deal, don't go with NATO, and stop the war because you're killing your people. Oh, okay, I think I might be extending it a little bit. Forgive me. But as I look through the article, and it said a top, so where's that? According to Axios, a high-ranking Ukrainian official told the site Bennett is essentially telling us to surrender, and we do not intend to do so. So, imagine this. Imagine this. You're in a schoolyard. You're this small kid, maybe 90 pounds. And this other kid lifts weights, maybe 100 and maybe 30 pounds. And you go up and you tell this 130-pound kid, this is what I'm going to do. Right? Now, let me rephrase that a little bit. You go around this 130-pound kid's, around and say, hey, join me, I want to join with you, because I think he's going to jump on me, when there has been no real reason why the 130-pound kid would jump on him. But he goes around and then he tries to get in with the gang. And the 130-pound kid said, oh, no. You're not going to start this. Well, that's a poor example, but just to give you some idea. Now, Zelensky, and I can't say what he knew, but the reason for NATO was because of the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union doesn't exist. Ukraine has been what they considered liberated. And it's a mess in the Ukraine. Oh man, it's a mess. You have one side, conservative, don't want to be bothered with the West. The West wants, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want. The East side is saying, no. And then the West is starting to beat up on the East. Just got West side, East side. That's what's going on. But I don't know of anyone who would let their people, whether if they were a former colony or not, let their people get slaughtered. And that's exactly what was happening since 2014, when the Ukraine, and I said this in other videos, fell into a civil war, just because of you had different identities that clashed, and within the Ukraine, the bigger boy started beating up on a smaller boy. That's what's happening. And now the bigger boy is beating up on the other boy that was picking on a smaller boy. But Zelensky could stop this at any second, and that is to not sign with NATO. And that's what this is all about. Putin would not have a problem with Ukraine if Ukraine did not try to get with NATO. They don't want it anywhere near their border. And I think if Putin wanted to be funky enough, he could say, oop, I'm going to stop giving you money. And that's what they were doing for years, giving Ukraine money, helping them along. But there's this is an ugly situation, but I really implore people to, instead of going with these small talking points, Putin bad, Zelensky good, stop with that. Just stop and really do your own diligence, due diligence, and form your own opinions. Please don't be in an echo chamber and just whatever somebody says, Putin bad, Putin. Just look at what's behind all of this. And you really might want to be really, really concerned with Igor, Kolomoisky. He's an interesting character, very interesting. And why did he put Zelensky in office? He's one to really look at, and what are his reasons? One, to get back into Ukraine because he was kicked out for whatever reason. You got to be a really, you have to be an extreme dirtbag to get kicked out of your own country. You know. So yeah, just take a deeper look, and please look outside of the U.S. Look at what countries are saying outside. You know, look at what Poland's saying. Look at the countries who are for the Ukraine. Look at the countries who are against the Ukraine. And within the for and against, form your own opinion. That's how research is always done. For, against, two opposing sides, and you form your own opinion. However, outside of that, give me the HSO special, the Help a Sister Out special. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Please help me along. And those of you who did subscribe, thank you. I appreciate you so much. Most of all, I want to thank you for stopping by.